Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in and checking out another video coming to you from Herndon, Virginia. This is Herndon Centennial Golf Course. You're probably thinking, hey Mark, don't you already have this on your channel? Why? Yes I do. It was one of my, if I remember, I think second video I ever came out with, and it's the exact reason why I am redoing it this time around. The video editing wasn't great. It was also a super cold day. I decided I wanted to give one of my favorite, if not my favorite course, because fun fact, I grew up down the road in Reston, Virginia. South Lakes, baby. Let's go. Herndon, y'all suck. Pretty sure I made that same comment and little shout out in my first video too, but wanted to do this course some justice because it's arguably my home course. I've played this a trillion times. It's probably the best bang for your buck in the area. In fact, I challenge anyone, please leave in the comments a better public course in Northern Virginia at this price for the type of golf you get. And I'm not going to act like this is, I don't know, the Augusta of Northern Virginia, but I mean, it's a cool layout, pretty good conditions, and one of the biggest selling points, which is about to pop up in a second, is the restaurant attached to this. It's called Karne. Now, am I a little biased because this is a Filipino-inspired, Filipino-type cuisine? Yeah. I am biased. Fun fact, I am Filipino, in case you didn't know. I think what they do a good job of, Karne, that is, it still has its typical golf course food. You'll have hot dogs, it has breakfast sandwiches, but they also have a full-blown menu, and if you ever play on the weekends, I'm sure people can attest to this. You have people driving to this spot just for their brunch and breakfast options. You're going to see some of the things that I post in a moment, but some of the things that I've heard, and I haven't tried it yet. It is on my list. I want to try a lot of things on their menu, but you can see ube waffles. So they have chicken and waffles, that's ube inspired. They have rice bowls. They have lumpia, which is basically Filipino egg rolls. They have, I mean, everything you can think of. Basically, check this place out if you ever want to try some Filipino-inspired food that isn't too crazy and more Americanized. But let's get back to the main reason why we are here, the golf. And here we are off hole one. Fun fact about this course and why I love playing it is because there's only 3 tee boxes, and the furthest back, which is technically the tips, it's only like 6,200 yards. So why I love that is every time I play this course, I get to say I'm playing the tips. Makes me feel like a cool guy, such a big long hitter. You're also going to notice a slightly different format where I don't have tracers on for today. I'm just trying this out. Let me know what you all think, but I want to just do a really quick round, short snippets. I cut off a lot of things. I don't put tracers. There's some putts that I just cut out because they're gimmies, like this one right here. There are a few putts that, it's funny, looking back on hindsight, there were a few that I probably should have put out, and I put out the ones that are like outrageous, but there were a few where I'm like, man, I can't believe I took that one on camera. Honor rankings, move me down, unbelievable. But yeah, let me know what you think of this format. If you like the quick snippets, no tracer, just a good layout of the land. Okay, and before we go for hole by hole, play by play of what's going on, there's a couple thoughts about Herndon in general. So first off, you heard me say that the course is not long. It only plays about 6,200 from the tips. It doesn't mean you're just going to run it over, but I will admit, if you're a lower handicap and you hit it far, you can definitely score on this course. Number 2, depending on the type of shape you have, this is not to bash Herndon's crew or anything, but you know, because this is a public course and a lot of folks who are beginners tend to play this course, you'll notice it gets beat up very, very quick. The greens, sometimes they're just not taken care of. The tee boxes can be bad. There's divots everywhere. So depending on time of the year, the type of shape it's in, it could be hit or miss. Funny enough, I mean, when I played it, this was taken in spring of 2024, I think March to be exact. The greens were insanely fast. I mean, I made a joke earlier, is this the Augusta of Northern Virginia? The way the greens were rolling, they honestly might have been. I mean, that's crazy to me. Okay, and number 3, my final point, do not sleep on the greens. If you're going into this round, if you're using my video as a scout and you're coming in saying, yeah, I see a lot of short holes, par 3s are really short, par 5s are really short, that's fine, go into it, but the greens are going to be the course's defense. And a lot of courses will say that, but I'm lucky where I've played this enough to know when I should miss short, or there are a bunch of 2-tiered greens where if you're on the high side, you know, on the 2nd tier and it's a bottom tier flag, like just good luck. Again, I'm not going to act like it's Augusta, but the point is, there are certain places you want to miss on the greens in particular, and when you understand that, you know, it's better to play certain holes defensive versus attack them, I think you can have a really, really good round. But with all that being said, of course, look at that. Regardless of the green complex, I just miss a little 4-footer there. That's not a great look. And then, geez, Mark, and then the snap hook, when it rains, it pours. Golf's a mental game, right? So anyway, let's get back to the hole-by-hole play. And this is another example. So Holy, if you're watching this, luckily you can see, look to my right-hand side, you can see this is a 2-tiered green. The pin's on the top. If the pin is on the bottom and you miss up here or vice versa, that hill is pretty brutal. So you always want to miss on the same tier. Luckily, I miss on the top tier. I don't know how. That was like a 40, 50-footer putt that I end up 2-putting. We'll take it. For everyone that's played this hole, this is one that you circle on the card as a par or better. It's a super short. It's a 320. I think it plays shorter than that, but I think I've gunned to the front of the green. It's like 280, 285 to the front of the green from the tips. I play very conservatively, and let's go. You can play conservative and still make birdies, but for the longer hitters out there, if you can hit it 280, 285, you can probably reach the front of the green, if not on the green, and then you can be set up for a really good birdie. Hole 10, this is one of the trickier holes. It's like a dog leg right, so I always say just hit straight. I know it's easier said than done, but you want to hit it straight. And Mark, no way. Back-to-back birds. Is the kid hot? Are we hot right now? Let's go. Hole 11's a par 4, it's a 400 one, and depending on where the tee box is, they move it all around. It can chop off 30 to 40 yards. Today was in the longer spot. That was a really, really bad shot where I pull hooked it. Luckily, we're still in play, thanks Herndon. There's a lot of open field, but it's just funny to me where there are certain cuts in the rough where if you're in the rough, you're in the rough. That chip really got away from me. And then here's a little 4-footer to save Bogue. Oh, man. That's just unfortunate. It's just funny how 2 birdies back-to-back are just erased in one hole. It's so demoralizing where all that hard work just goes away. So the last hole, this hole, and the next hole, so 11, 12, and 13, I think they're the 3 hardest holes and the hardest stretch in the entire course. They're just longer par 4s. They're kind of narrow. You're going to see the next tee shot in particular where there is some OB left and then there's trees on the right. I think this is the 3 hardest holes, so if you're looking to score and have a good round, if you can play these holes to, I don't know, I mean, par or better would be great, obviously, but even if you do this 1 to 2 over between the 3-hole stretch, it's not the end of the world. You can see this hole in particular. That's all OB left. Those are houses and a road. The right, you're just going to be in trees and you have to punch out. So if you can hold on for these, it then sets you up for what someone told me is called birdie alley. And really quick, you saw me make that putt and it said 4 birdie with 2 little asterisks on there. Long story short, I did 2-putt that. My camera fell over, so I decided just to re-record it. Of course, the second time around I drained it, so did not birdie that hole. That was strictly just to show the actual green and putt itself. But I was saying earlier how this is known as birdie alley. So that last hole, that was a super short par 3. You have a super short par 5, I mean a 480-yard par 5, followed by a short 3 and then a short 5. So for longer hitters, you will just be salivating to get to this point. I started off with a snap hook left OB, so not how you want to start the easy par 5. I ended up taking a drop where the guy and I thought it went out. Wasn't really sure, but I took a drop. We end up just taking a 3 hybrid to punch it up and lay up. And then we get on and we end up 2-putting. So not a very good bogey there, but it's okay. We still have 2 more holes and birdie alley left. Oh no, Mark, did you just pull hook it left? By the way, this was just me being fun. When I realized, you know, kind of going close to even par or breaking par was out of range, I did a super high flop shot there just to be rude, and it was actually pretty cool. I end up flopping it on to putt another bogey. We're bleeding right now. So I need to make something happen here on 18 to keep a pretty decent round. Breaking 80 is still in sight. I'm not worried about that, but I was really hoping to be sub 75, and I was on good pace until the last couple holes. I've played with a lot of people, and I've only seen a couple actually reach the screen. So if you see on the card like a 500-yard par 5 for 17, it's definitely reachable, but if you saw beforehand, there is a bunker that you have to carry. So your approach shot from, I don't know, let's say 2 to 225 in, you have to make sure you carry and cover the bunker. I've seen people do it. And then hole 18, this might be one of the hardest finishing holes. To the right, If you play a fade or slice, it's just the driving range, so good luck trying to find your ball. There's OB and water left, and then there's a huge bunker in the middle, so your tee shot matters so much on this hole. I actually hit a perfect tee shot, a terrible approach shot, and then a terrible bunker shot out. So not an excuse, but obviously I'm going to start piling on the excuses. You know, this is one of the first rounds of the season, and I did walk, so for anyone who ever just walks a course, you start losing legs around hole 14, 15, or maybe just me, but not the best way to end. But hey, I appreciate you checking it out. We end up with a plus 677. If you liked what you saw, please subscribe if you made it this far, and Worthington Manor's up next on the list.